Isn't Nick a Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, on this fine Monday. Fine Monday. Exciting. Packed Monday, huh? Just coming off of that Punchy TV epi. Hope you guys caught it. Punchy TV network on YouTube. Punchy.tv and all that. I am live right now, though, American Anchor Baby. And it's a pleasure. An absolute pleasure to be back with you today. Got some things to get into. Loosey-goosey style today. Loosey-goosey because, you know, we had a lot of things going on today, but it's going to be great, okay? It's going to be great. Appreciate everybody who was with us over the weekend on Friday. We had a great flight. Smooth flight. Yeah, Hurricane Helene may have, we may have hit some turbulence and all that thanks to Hurricane Helene, but we made it all the way to LaGuardia up until the last moment there. You know, we died, okay? We crashed and we died. It's rare. It's rare nowadays. Your pilot is well-trained lately on the A320neo, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. We hit the water, and we all died. But we all regained our corporeal forms for Sunday church, and now we're back here Monday to enjoy this fine Monday. But appreciate everybody who was there on Friday. We had a great show. You gotta subscribe. Maybe you don't like the show, but you're coming into the stream right now. You're kicking off your shoes. You're making yourself a plate. You're joking around. You're already changing the aux cord. You're like, give me the aux cord. Let me play music. You're already asking for the aux cord, and you don't even press the like button. You're already grabbing the aux cord to play your music from your Spotify, your music already, and you're not even gonna click the like button. That's crazy. But okay, maybe you don't like what you see. Don't make me force you to do anything. You got to like what you see, okay? So at least say hello. You come in here, you grab the aux cord, you get the food, and you don't say hi no more. Say hello to the fine people in the chat, please. And maybe you don't like what you see. Leave a little comment for the Anchor Baby. Show some brotherly love for the Anchor Baby. And you can, and then maybe you can improve. What, you don't have love either? So you don't have love, you don't have manners. What do you have? This is crazy. Appreciate everybody. 888-775-3773. You want to jump in on the line and talk to the Anchor Baby, you're more than welcome to, okay? 888-775-3773. Incredible. And it would make an excellent Jewish mother. What, you come in here, you don't say hi no more? What's happening? I don't know. I got to work on my Jewish accent maybe. All right, folks, let's get right into this. I need to show you something. I think... How do I want to do this? How do we want to rock and roll this? Did we do the homework? Did we do the housekeeping? We said hello to Rumble. We have not. So let me do that real quick. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. I'm live on dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. And of course, punchy.tv. You want to save it. We love it. PUNCHIE.tv. What are you doing? Get yourself a Punchy TV account right now. Okay, so we died. Let's move on from that. We'll have a nice flight this upcoming Friday. We'll do it again. And so that's why you want to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, do your thing. You don't want to miss your flight. That's the worst, okay? You're missing your flight? Who does that? People who were maybe raised in a home of no consequences. That's the kind of person that misses their flight. Okay, real quick, folks. I want to do this. It's a we're starting off loosey-goosey. Amazon's $999 dog-like robot is getting smarter. Is what I want to start off with, okay? Amazon's $1,000 robot dog. $1,000 robot dog. Who's getting it? Who's getting a $1,000 robot? I mean, that's still kind of cheaper than some dogs. Some dogs are pretty expensive. How much is one of those what do they call them? They're French something. French bulldogs? I hear those are pretty expensive. Okay? So this is still kind of cheap. Amazon on Wednesday unveiled a collection. Here you go. Unveiled a collection of product updates that tie together its vast suite of services. Okay? And this dog is going to be a little Amazon guy. He's going to keep track of stuff. You can ask it anything. Come on, who's getting the Amazon dog? You got to get the Amazon dog. No? I feel like a lot of people would. I feel like a lot of people would get one. A digital robot dog. Come on. Mechanical wolf. See, some of you guys are excited. We found Sandy 2. We found Sandy number 2. Sandy, we love Sandman. But, come on. A bunch of you guys are probably going to get this robot dog. It'll record everything. Oh, here it is. I was looking for a picture of it. That's somewhat dog-like, no? Yes, with a screen. Astro robot now detects pets' faces. So you got to get the robot dog and the real dog. Incredible. Look, I want to open up with dogs because that's not even that important. But I wanted to open up with dogs because I think I have a bit of a controversial take on something. I'm getting the impression that I have a bit of a controversial take on something. And so far, everyone's calling me crazy. So I'll at least bring it up so you guys can call me crazy. But at least maybe we can have something interesting to talk about for a moment here. Look, Bill, have you ever seen a dog guilty?
I don't want to talk about that.
You ever seen a dog act guilty, Bill? Or, I don't even know about act, but I'm just saying, you ever seen a dog, you see guilt all over a dog. You ever seen that? Bill? I want you to watch this. Watch this with me. Boom. All right, folks, check this out. Guilty Dogs compilation. I'm telling you, people are calling me crazy. Oh, there you go. Can I have you on? We got Bill in the house.
It's not playing.
Wait, no. I just got to click it. Here we go. I just don't want it to be too loud.
What did you do to this tissue? Tell me. What did you do? What did you do? What? Did you chew this up? What did you do?
Guilty. Come on, you've seen a guilty dog, right?
¿Quién de los dos fue? ¿Quién hizo esto? Quiero saber. Mira cómo me dejaron la plantilla. ¿Quién fue?
Which was the guilty one?
Eh?
I think it's obvious.
All right, well, apparently while I was out, somebody got into the kitty cat treats. Denver, did you do this?
Denver, why?
Denver,
it's all over your face, Denver.
Denver, you won't look at me. Did you? What?
Denver did it.
Denver, did you do this?
It's all over him.
Cooper.
Denver did it. Do you think Denver did it, Bill?
Looks like Denver did it.
Okay, so I was talking with a caller the other night, And we got into dogs and emotion. I think this caller actually
Are they mimicking human behavior? Or is this some natural behavior of theirs?
You say mimicking? Are you asking if they're mimicking or what? Let me see if this works. Hold on. Boom, Bill, you're a genius. So you're saying you're wondering if they're mimicking human behavior?
Yeah, I'm saying is that somehow that mimicking human behavior, or is that something if you were looking at a pack of wolves, you'd find the same thing going on to some extent.
If you look, here's what I'll say. This is my take. Is what is making people call me crazy.
Okay.
I'm thinking those dogs feel the exact same guilt we feel, the exact same. And there may be some mimicking. But the mimicry is not. It's not one-sided, because we too, when we feel guilt, it's also a trained, animalistic, lower thinking response. It's an emotional response. See, we're not really remorseful. We're just feeling bad that it's just a self-preservation. It's just a self-preservation tactic or whatever. We know that there's something wrong. Consequences may come, and so we got to put the face down. Oh, I'm sorry. Feel bad for me. It's self-preservation. It's emotional. And dogs are doing the very same thing. The exact same thing.
Okay.
What do you think? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, they feel the same thing. Lower animalistic thinking.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a social animal thing. Maybe.
You say again?
A social animal thing, Dogs are pack animals. So maybe they need something like that to function well.
So then why do we do it?
Same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. I got to say, I think so. It's the exact same thing. It's trained emotional stuff. Bill thinks I'm crazy.
I don't know if it's that trained.
When we're guilty?
I think it would come about no matter. I mean, it would come about if you put some folks who were just dropped off at an island, they would come up with the same thing soon. If you ran into them, 30 years later, it would still be there. So it's not just trained. I mean, it's part of our programming.
People.
Yeah.
And dogs just picked up on that programming.
No, I think it's maybe part of dogs too. Yeah.
Would you say animals are instinctual creatures or whatever? Creatures of instinct.
Yeah. But I think humans are a lot of creatures of instinct to a large degree too.
Anyways, people are calling me crazy. I was calling instinct and emotion pretty much the same thing, or at least closely related. That lower level thinking, animal thinking. And animals are just pure emotion in that way. Pure emotion.
Yeah.
They get mad. They feel guilty. They get happy. Thank you. At least the only opinion that matters, the opinion of a genius. See, I'm not that crazy, people. So get out of here. Whoever was saying that. Anyways, I just wanted to do something silly there. Whoa, that looks crazy. I just wanted to do something silly there because people didn't agree. I know Nasrallah died. I know Hassan Nasrallah is dead or whatever. And it's like, that's big news. I guess I should be telling you, oh my gosh, the Israel-Gaza war is getting crazy. Is Hassan Nasrallah dead?
Who's that?
He's the leader of Hezbollah.
Oh, he's dead now?
Yeah. So I know I'm supposed to. I guess I should talk about real things.
When did this happen?
Let me see if it's true. But Hassan Nasrallah, Iran's man atop Hezbollah, according to Bloomberg, dead at 64. And so I know big things are happening.
Gosh.
So yeah, leader of Hezbollah, the most powerful Iranian-backed militant group in the Middle East, was killed by Israeli forces. He was 64. Israel's military said Nasrallah was killed in an airstrike on Beirut Friday evening, and Hezbollah confirmed his death a few hours later. I mean, it's pretty significant escalation if we're going to be talking about anything serious.
Man, the Israelis, man. Wow.
Yeah, first the cell phones,
Yeah,
first
the cell phone, the pagers.
and then they went to the funeral, and then the other stuff blew up while they were like mourning the first round.
Oh, really?
Right. That was the second round, and now it's like, oh yeah,
it's like escalating.
Yeah, big time. So I guess if we're gonna talk about what else do I have to say about that other than like escalating tensions, like it's just going off, and it looks like it's just gonna go down.
Yeah, they're serious over there in Israel.
I keep hearing about retaliation though, and I've yet to see anything. I think Israel's just gonna dominate. Right on, Israel, get them.
Yeah, it's like the what is it? The Gaza Strip retaliation. They're probably talking about retaliation there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jealous people. Israel making happen whatever they want. What can you do, I guess?
Yeah, Israel's like terrorizing the terrorists.
Yo. Yeah.
I mean,
out terrorizing the
terrorists. Out terrorizing the terrorists. You're like, can't use their phone, scare their phone, scare the pager, scared of going to the scared of using the Walkman, have to check all their stuff out, have to double check when they walk out of a building, have to double check if their radio is really a radio.
They have to have been.
It's my gosh. Anyway,
they have to have been pushed back to primitive tech now, at least for a while, till they figure out their suppliers.
Get their old stuff.
Right.
Real old.
The stuff that worked.
Right, the old stuff that worked.
Didn't blow up.
Yeah.
Wait,
the stuff they were trying to replace.
We're laughing too hard about this. This is serious, Bill. What do you think this is going to turn into? They say it will be a larger conflict, a larger.
I don't know. I mean,
but I mean, if Hezbollah's not responding, if Hamas is like, if Hamas is just going to leave the Gaza Strip, is it really going to turn into a wider conflict, or is Israel just going to get what they want and everybody's just going to take it?
I think. I mean, at the moment, it looks like Israel's just going to get what they want. I guess Hezbollah. It's Hezbollah, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the guard in Lebanon.
Who are shooting stuff
who are
shooting rockets into Israel.
Correct.
And Israel, I think, has run out of their Patriot missiles or whatever to stop them. So you're putting Israel, Israel's backs against the wall to an extent. And, now you got, your pager blowing up on you.
Is it kind of more? Is it kind of more positive for the whole world if Israel just dominates and there's no responses? Is it just better for everybody?
I don't know.
It might not turn into a larger regional conflict, as they say. The region is about to blow up, or Israel just dominates. I mean, I think that's better for everybody. Domination. But anyways. I thought I'd mention some real news here, considering the state of the world. 888-775-3773. Your face is getting distorted and wavy when you face Bill. Oh, is there some? What's going on?
Oh, you got your double face.
Wait, no. Without the double face.
I don't see it, man.
Distortions in the matrix. We'll have to check the recording. Here, I'll take you off. You trying to get up? Go ahead.
I'm gonna go.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you, Bill. So, folks, there's a little bit of news for you, I guess. Keeping it loosey-goosey, sounds like it's their computer, Nick. Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. Do you want me to turn that thing on, Bill? Is it this thing that you want to check? How we looking? But anyways, folks. Oh, yeah? What do you think it is? Funny business. Hey, folks. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
But yeah, that's the heating up war. Look, I had this topic I wanted to get into actually Friday. Some days actually in the past week, and I see calls coming in. 888-775-3773. There's a bit of... Okay, so basically... And you know what? On the heels of this Nasrallah reporting, this actually kind of fits thematically. So basically, this Catholic and this Jew are fighting online, okay? And I want to get into it a little bit. I like both of them. I like both of them. I sincerely like both of them a lot. So this Catholic and this Jew are fighting. Story, isn't that an old story, huh? The black, what's that song? The black one, it hates the white one, and the white one hates the... There's a song, okay? Ask Jesse about it. You might want to ask Jesse about it. Super chat Jesse about it. He might sing it. Although, he does not just dance, monkey dance. But yeah, what else is new? A Catholic and a Jew are fighting. AKA every episode of the Hake Report ever, says Carver. What the... A Catholic and a Jew walk into a bar. Anyways, so this Catholic and Jew are fighting. Nick Fuentes, you know that name. Darren Beatty. That's another name you might know. Doesn't he? I believe he runs Revolver.news. He's very smart. I really like him. And they're fighting. Stop fighting. Why are you fighting? Stop fighting. And they got this thread on Twitter, x.com. Bill, if you could hear me, you left your phone in here in case you need it. It's right there. You can walk. It's okay. But so these two people are fighting, and I found some interesting things that I just want to kind of talk about. Okay? Maybe a little nitpicking. I want to open up the thread. Let me open it up. Because they're fighting, and they shouldn't fight. Stop with all the fighting. Everybody want to fight. Okay, let me mute all this. Test. Okay. Everybody want to fight. Let me see how I want to do this. And there's a caller keeps dropping off. 888-775-3773. Call me. I'll take your call. Because there's something interesting here. You know, in fact, Jesse was even talking. Was that today earlier? We were talking about the white people. Jesse was wondering, well, what makes the whites so special they can make societies the way they do? Is there something about them? What's that X factor? And we were discussing it. That was funny earlier on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I believe that was today. Jesse Lee Peterson. And okay, so how do I want to kick this off here? Darren Beatty. I don't want to talk. See, there's just very interesting things in this that I really wanted to comment on, and I'm really trying to avoid getting involved and commenting on other people's stuff too much, their fights and their shows. So allow me to do this. Allow me to get into this because it's just so interesting in certain respects. Anybody ever heard of the Southern Strategy? Y'all ever heard of the Southern Strategy? So, okay, how do we start this off? Okay, I believe this is the tweet that kicks it off. It kicks off the fight. And it's Nick Fuentes on X.com, who was a person who was heavily banned everywhere, including what was Twitter. So, very nice Elon Musk owning X.com as it is now. Whatever you may think about whatever, you got to admit that someone so banned could be allowed to speak on this platform. I mean, there's just very few places. There's just very few places you could do that, okay? So we appreciate Elon Musk for that. And Nick Fuentes here, talking about a new grift. The new grift is for young white conservatives to only ever talk about black crime and never ever talk about Jewish capture of the United States. That's what he's saying, okay? And he says, if you call this out, then they'll say you're insufficiently racist. The Israeli version of the Southern strategy. And I'm going to do a little nitpicking. And it pains me so. It pains me to nitpick because nitpicking sometimes derails from from a good point that someone's making. Okay? But I got to nitpick a little bit because I ended up learning a whole bunch about this so-called Southern strategy that Fuentes is talking about. The Southern strategy. So we'll get into that in a second here. How did the fight start? Well, Darren Beattie comments on this very tweet here, on this post. And so he reads like this. I have to wonder what the thinking is here on its own terms. Is the idea that if Jews were to magically disappear, America all of a sudden would no longer be retarded and corrupt? Jews disappear and the Costco family put down the double chunk cookie and start reciting Dryden? Hey, Darren Beattie, hold up, man. Hold up, man. We like this Costco kid, no? The double chunk cookie. You know who I'm talking about, right, folks? There's this family who got famous on Twitter for some reason for going to Costco a bunch. And it's silly, okay? It's like, come to Costco and buy stuff. We're a family that buys stuff. And look at us buy things, consume. And look at us eat this unhealthy double chunk chocolate cookie. And look at my fat son eat the chicken bake. But look, number one, delicious, okay? Talk all the crap you want, delicious, okay? Number two, a family that double chunks and chicken bakes together, stays together. I mean, it's just nice. It's like family content. It's like a family, and they're like together. It's enjoyable. Okay, maybe I don't know if I enjoy it that much. It's not like I watch a whole bunch of their content, but anytime I see it, I don't go cringe, family that stays together. I go family. I don't know. I mean, call me simple. But Darren Beattie continues. AIPAC disappears and the State Department all of a sudden stops demanding pride parades in Eastern Europe. The Jews gone and Baltimore becomes a walkable, clean city with respectful, quiet patrons in the movie theaters. No more Jews and Nick suddenly receives a barrage of insightful super chats. Vatican replaces the Pope with someone who does not make a repeated public spectacle of scrubbing and kissing third world immigrants' feet. It's a poisonous and mistaken way of thinking. But let's say for the sake of argument that America's venal and spineless politicians, business leaders are in fact constantly being bribed, manipulated, tricked by those nefarious Jewish infiltrators. If Jews disappear, does this mean that leaders magically adopt strength and noblesse oblige? Or do they just get scanned by, say, Armenians instead? It was an Armenian doctor. That's hilarious, Darren Beattie. You made me chuckle big time when I first read that. That is hilarious. It was an Armenian doctor. Okay, so they duking it out. The Catholic and the Jew, they're not as a fight as old as time or as old as religion. They continue duking it out in this thread. And look, I'm starting to cringe a little. I don't want to get too into this. I want to get to like my point about it. But Fuentes says, hey, you really want to go down that path? And you're hypothetical. 9 out of 10 top donors to the Democrats disappear. Most neocons disappear. Owners of Pornhub and OnlyFans disappear. ADL is PLC gone. Ben Shapiro, whatever. And, okay, so they duke it out. Let me see. Is there anything else important about this? They duke it out more about this. And, look, I mean, some of this is true, right? They're like all liberals. The Jews are mainly liberal. And this whole owners of this porn stuff, I mean, you want to deny that? I don't know if you want to deny facts for a second. I don't know if you want to do that. Because then you look silly, right? But putting that aside, where is Darren wrong at the crux of it all? Because, sure, there are maybe good points about they're liberal and what they're into. But hold on. What is being a victim? Hold on. What is being a victim? That's ghetto, okay? It's like I look at these two guys, and these are two guys that could work together. They could work together. You know what I mean? But the black versus Jew thing, It is a little different though, right? Because, I mean, on one hand, you're pointing out the shortcomings of the blacks so that they may wake up, right? Right? That's why you're doing that, right? You don't hate them. Are you angry at the blacks and hateful? That's wrong. But on one hand, you're like pointing out the shortcomings and all the shortcomings that the world is just justifying. And on the other hand, aren't you criticizing the Jews for being too great? Or am I crazy? You're criticizing them for being too amazing? For owning too many things? Anyways, I really am not trying to get too into them because I like both of them. They both make a lot of sense to me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just not smart enough to, maybe I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Like, they both make sense to me. They both make sense to me. So I like both of them. I'm not trying to get into them, really. I just need something to talk about, something to nitpick on. And tell me where I'm wrong about this, okay? Because, see, Fuentes brought up this whole Southern strategy thing. So what do y'all know about the Southern strategy? Southern strategy was according to Wikipedia, was a Republican Party electoral strategy to increase political support among white voters in the South by appealing to racism against African Americans. That's what's written here. It says, appealing to racism against African Americans. And I'm like, wait, hold on. My spidey senses are going off. Because you got to explain that, Wikipedia. What is this racism against African Americans? As the civil rights movement and dismantling of Jim Crow laws in the 1950s and 1960s visibly deepened existing racial tensions in much of the southern United States, Republican politicians, such as presidential candidate Richard Nixon, developed strategies that successfully contributed to the political realignment of many white conservative voters in the South who had traditionally supported the Democratic Party. Okay, so I read that if I were to uncover what's beneath that rock of racism against African Americans, here's Nixon campaigning in 1968. Richard Nixon campaigning 1968. So Wikipedia, if I were to, peel back the layers, of course, here I am, a naive anchor baby, expecting actual racism, right? Oh, okay, so what kind of racism were they appealing to, Wikipedia? Well, it turns out, let me lay out the racism that Nixon appealed to using the so-called Southern strategy to realign the South. And so a little bit about the South before I lay it out. At the time, the South, and at the time and before all this, the South voted Democrat. They had an old relationship going back, way back, and the white Southerners saw the Democratic Party as the defenders and the correct representatives for their interests and all that, okay? And the Republicans sought to change that. They sought to change that. They say the way they changed that was by cleaving the white voters from the Democratic Party, by making them fear racism and putting and by talking about racism and playing on the racism to get them to basically say, oh, you know what? I thought the Democrats were the racists, but you know what? The Republicans are the racists that I want to vote for. That's the theory. But I can't help but see the lie in calling things racist. Allow me to lay out the racism that the Republican Party appealed to. For example, law and order rhetoric. Nixon emphasized a strong stance on law and order during his campaigns. While this seemed like a neutral message, it was often perceived as a reaction to civil rights protests and urban unrest in the 1960s. This rhetoric appealed to white voters who associated civil rights activism and protests with disorder and a threat to traditional social structures. Doesn't that sound familiar? Law and order is racist. Opposition to forced busing. Nixon opposed policies like forced busing, which were meant to desegregate schools by transporting students between predominantly white and black schools. His stance attracted white voters in the South who opposed these desegregation efforts. While he framed it as supporting local control over schools, it resonated with those resistant to racial integration. Now you see what's going on? You start peeling it back, it turns out not to be racist at all, just normal. Don't you realize they were forcing people to try and love each other? That's fake. You can't do that. That's literally impossible. You actually make the opposite happen when you do that. You are going to love each other. You ever seen these shirts, big old oversized shirts that parents would make siblings stay in if they were fighting? This is the love shirt. And you're going to stay in this big shirt until you love each other. Parents at home, parents in the chat, tell me, does that really work? You're going to love each other. Tell me, does that really work, parents at home? Or do you separate? You separate because you can't allow that to fester. You can't allow that fighting to fester. No, you got to separate. And then should there be a return? Should they come back together, the siblings? They can now build on more positive things, like the fun they're having now, and how they forgot the fight that they were having before, and the fight that wasn't exacerbated by parents who were trying to force their kids to love. So, is not that the same for the people of America? They tried to forcefully integrate the schools the way they did, and that was just evil. In opposition to that is apparently using racism against black people, and they call it the Southern strategy. Do you see the joke here? That just doesn't make sense. States' rights advocacy. Nixon frequently spoke about states' rights. And then we're going to get to calls here, which had long been a code for opposing federal intervention in civil rights issues. But what right do they have to federally intervene in so-called civil rights issues? Appealing to white suburbs, Nixon's campaign aimed to appeal not only to Southern whites, but also to suburban voters across the country who were concerned about the implications of desegregation. So all this to say that the Catholic and the Jew, who I both like, are making good points. And even if this is true, Fuentes, even if this is true, I don't know. Even if this is all true, all this about them owning this and their influence on this culture. Tell me, Fuentes, come on. Darren's right, too. I mean, Fuentes, you're calling it a Southern strategy, which was what? When you peel it back, the Southern strategy was totally reasonable, was completely reasonable. And you can't give the Jews all that power over the people. Like, they can totally twist your morals and values. How can they have all that power, huh? Now, maybe I'm talking about both sides of my mouth. Apologies, but okay, maybe they do have some influence. I mean, all people with money and have influence, but they can't have ultimate influence, right, Fuentes? Where am I wrong? I don't want to talk too much about the fellas. Look, I love both that Catholic and that Jew. I love them both. So anyways, that was just something I found interesting. I want to get to calls here. Thanks for the patience. But I want to finish this off here. What else about this? What else about this? Let me get to this call, and then I'll finish this off, because it seems I have some more, and I don't want to lose the caller here and just bloviate. Let's talk to somebody and see what they think. What's your name, and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Josh from Georgia, man.
What's up, Josh? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate your call.
Yes, sir. About the Jew versus the Catholic thing, the Jew won that one, bro.
You saying the Jew won that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, expand.
All right. I judge things based off of who is more masculine, okay? That's why the Jew is more masculine in this situation. And what it is it's a lot of things, but the main thing is this. all over the world, this is what it is. It's white people versus non-whites. The colonizers, aka colonizers, versus the savages. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like what y'all were talking about on Jesse's show today. He was asking why are white people why everybody want to come move into the white people's country and don't nobody want to go live in the non-white people's country.
It's a great question. Because they're the best.
I have the answer to that. I'm probably going to call Jesse later this week, but I have the answer to that.
Okay, go.
And it's I got it from the Fallen State episode with Sargon of Akkad. Do you remember that?
I sort of do. Yeah. I remember Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad.
Carl Benjamin.
He was great on the Fallen State, if I remember.
I think that was the best Fallen State episode of all time, bro.
Oof.
Or at least top 3.
Tell us.
At least top 3. Yeah. Because he explained it. Because it started because England or, Great Britain, they were an island, right? And so they created the greatest naval, the British Navy, right? Mm-hmm. To where they didn't have to fight all the other in Europe and all over the rest of the world. Everybody was living a lifestyle of tribes, and it was tribal warfare. But since England had the British Navy, they were able to develop a better society because, like what Hake was saying, they were more at peace. They were more still. They're not constantly worrying about tribal warfare on the island of Great Britain. This is what Carl Benjamin was said on that Fallen State episode, right? But they developed the property law. They developed common law, and that was the peak civilization. And they were able to eventually colonize most of the world, right? Mm-hmm. That's what England did. They colonized. They're the greatest colonized, and that's what America came from. Great Britain, England. Right?
No, absolutely. I mean, the modern world we live in.
Right. That's why everybody speaks English.
We live in that modern world. There, white people created the modern world.
Right. So England was the light.
Was the world colonized before that? Were there other global? Go on. Don't let me derail you. You were saying.
I don't think it was colonized before that, bro. No, I don't think it was.
Fair enough. Was it colonized as far as people knew how big the world was? Over there in the old world?
Probably not. It was just savages, bro. It was just
because Rome, right? I mean the Mongols, right? They had a huge empire. Anyways, you were saying something though.
So France copied off of England, and they went and colonized the world, and then Spain, because they're right next to England. So Spain went and colonized all the Spanish conquistadors, right? They colonized Latin America.
They have a different kind of They have a different definition of that colonization, meaning marry the women, marry and make babies with the women. The English, maybe not so much.
Yeah, the English, the English was the light of the world, and then America came out of the England. That's what America came out of with George Washington.
For sure.
And all of them.
Of course, the Magna Carta nations, Canada, New Zealand, some of the finest nations on earth. Canada, America, New Zealand, I forget, but some of the finest nations, some of the finest and freest nations of all time.
Yeah.
Out of the bosom of England.
It what? Say again?
Out of the bosom of England came some of the finest nations.
Yeah. That's what it all. And Carl Benjamin in that Fallen State episode, he explains it perfectly. Mm-hmm. But the England started the colonizers, and bottom line is Israel is just an extension of that. The Jews, they're doing what England was doing, and that's why Palestine says they're colonizers, and they're basically the white people. They make things better. Okay, Israel, it was better, was beautiful. Palestine is crap. The blacks in America, the black community is trash. All the non-white places in the world it's just an S-hole country. And that's why everyone's leaving there, trying to go live with the whites. And the governments, they want that because it gives them more. The less white they have, the government has more control over the masses.
Well, yeah, man, it's interesting. I there's some things I share about that in that, and this could be out of ignorance, but I get this impression that, so like, here's a kind of like a shallow look at things, but either you get this impression that Israel really is kind of like this, the West over there. This is so ignorant. This probably sounds so ignorant, but they're like the West over there. They're like a foothold of the West out in the Middle East. I kind of agree with that, sort of, unless someone could tell me otherwise. Like I don't see, I haven't been told otherwise. I can't see it any other way so far. It seems seems like it makes sense to me, and so I don't know. But why do you think they're so liberal over here?
Why the Jews are so little over here?
Liberal.
Oh, you know that they have their issues. I will say they have their issues, but for the most part, it's
maybe
like
IQ ain't all that. Maybe IQ ain't all that it's cracked up to be.
I mean, white people have their issues. I'm not saying white
for
people
sure,
are
but they
better,
don't vote overwhelmingly Democrat.
Yeah,
you know, if there's anyone who's still sensible, it's the white people.
Right. You got Joe Biden, Tim Walz. You know, you got all kind of dumb white liberals. But at the end of the day, I would rather raise a family in a white neighborhood or a Jewish neighborhood than any other than a non-white neighborhood. You know, because it's just the best quality of life.
I generally agree.
Yeah. It's just common sense.
This is how ignorant. This is how simple. This is how shallow my thinking on this goes, because it's kind of silly. Like, anger is evil is like the only truth, and more time passes, the more the more that's so obvious to me. You can have all your little facts, you can be on the right team, but you have anger, it's over. And we saw that recently. Actually, I'm not even gonna name it, but we saw that recently on the network. A Hate Report, whatever. I'll leave it at that. You guys check out the Hate Report. Great episodes. That being said, and this goes for a lot of minorities, shall we call them, in America, not just the Jews, but it seems like literally everyone but the whites vote overwhelmingly majority Democrat, and if any of them had their way, they won't have the nice neighborhoods you're talking about, including the Jews, the one that you want to raise those kids in. So if they had their way, it would be all over. So what's up with that?
Yeah. It's brainwashing, bro. That's what it is. My whole family is Democrat, and they're all brainwashed, and they're angry. I used to be heavy into the black culture, bro.
Yeah.
I was brainwashed. And I know the black culture is about jealousy. That jealousy and hating white people runs real deep in the black. And that's what communism is. It's jealousy of, you know, someone who has a better talent than you. They want everyone to be equal, equity, you know. They don't want to push up. Listen, if you see someone has a better talent than you, they're good at something, you need to support them in that. Don't be jealous of them. Don't be a hater, you know.
I think people misunderestimate just how the dumbing effect of anger. Yeah. It's really misunderestimated. Honestly, and how well it can be preserved over generations. How well dumb ideas can really be preserved over generations so well.
Yeah. So but you know, my dad grew up just like Jesse did on a farm, and they were sharecroppers in the South, and my grandparents grew up that way as well. But you know, my grandparents had 10 kids. My dad had 10 kids. They stayed married. Black people were better off way before the Civil Rights Movement. And then, you know, the Civil Rights Movement threw us for a loop, and we worse than ever right now, you know. And so that's all it is. That, you know, it's hatred of, I don't know. It's the devil, bro. It's just the devil. That's how the devil operates, you know.
Fair enough, Josh. Appreciate that, man. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's all, man.
Sir, call me again, man.
Whatever.
888-775-3773. You know, I was talking about, I'm going through my links now. I mean, we're kind of done with this, honestly. But I'm playing it loosey-goosey, and I have this saved away. Why did I save this? Oh, yes. I guess this adds to this this point of hating and how it's really toxic. It's poisonous to believe that a people can have such an influence on you and you that they can cause you to be all these things, be immoral and all this. Look, what was this? This was an interesting interaction on X. They're not smarter than us. They're morally corrupt and willing to do things we wouldn't conceive of. And here's a Jewish person here with this horrible depiction that, look, it's kind of funny sometimes, okay? We can laugh, right? We can laugh at depictions that are, look, here's this Jewish person cartoon saying, Muslims are terrorists. They want to kill you and end your race. And he is whispering in the ear of this white man. And here's the Jew yet again. White people enslaved your ancestors. You should make them pay for it. Just whispering in the ears of the black man. And then whispering in the ears of the Arab. The West want to invade you and end your religion. Attack them preemptively. But come on. Who's instructing the Jew? You have to not understand evil to not think that there is a voice instructing the Jew. This is shallow. The Jews have a voice in their mind instructing them and leading them into collisions as well, just like the white man, the black man, all people, the fallen nature. And to think that there's no one instructing the Jew in their mind and in their spirit through demonic spirit. Like, I gotta say, you're shallow. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm crazy. Sure, yeah, they can. Sure, they vote liberal and they're afraid of. They want a multicultural society, so a Holocaust may never happen, and that brings with it many ills. But they're listening to their father, the devil. That's why they have fear of a Holocaust 2.0 that may never come. And they'll bring about with their own fear. Remember we were talking on Friday, or was it Thursday? Remember we were talking about this? This was quite interesting. The things you fear, you bring about. The things you fear, you bring about. So they're just listening to their father, the devil, too. Isn't that crazy? And I got some clips on Nixon for you here. You might find this interesting, but just keeping it loosey-goosey. We got more calls. Your name and where you calling from, please.
This is Frederick from L.A. How's
Hey.
it going, Nick?
Welcome, sir. Go ahead.
The president will be history, and history has proven itself to have long-lasting, consequences.
Did you say the
agree?
president or the present?
The president right now
Uh-huh.
will eventually be history.
Okay, yeah, like this moment will pass. What do you mean by all this? What are you trying to say?
We're living in the consequences of history.
We're living in the consequences. Yeah, what do you mean by this?
Slavery brought this being into, into like, this is the consequences for their actions. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like.
Could you be a little bit more specific? What is
slavery for 400 years?
Could you be a little bit more specific? What does slavery cause today?
It caused a breeding of anxiety, probably PTSD, and bred amongst back and forth into itself. It bred like the things you seeing in the lack of fathers in the home. You know what I'm saying? Learned helplessness. It's like a product of history.
But what about all the a product of history? Okay,
yeah,
let's assume for a second. There's two places you could take that where it's a little strange because one, you're talking about feeling this PTSD and all these things. You'd almost think like the hypothetical person you're talking about, or maybe you have someone in mind, literally went through what you're talking about. But then, of course, everybody knows that that's not true. What black
That's
person
right.
in America was
Right.
enslaved? What PTSD from
Right.
slavery are they going to get? What do you say,
Right.
what would you say to that?
I say they don't have to have the PTSD from that time, but the consequences they living in and the wealth disparity gap that they're living in is a consequence, and their mentality and history from what is taught makes them behave how they behave.
And in what way?
It's God's plan.
And in what way would you say that their behavior is affected that way? Could you
I'm just saying,
could you get more
if
specific
they-
for me?
Like maybe if you didn't like breed blacks to be stronger and run faster so they'll work harder and do more work, they wouldn't run the NFL and the NBA. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Not necessarily.
if they didn't breed Africans slaves to let's say be dependent on themselves and not trust the white man. There would be more of a trust after 400 years. You know how you can make a dog...
But where is that? Wait,
fear
hold on.
human?
But those people are dead.
No, but
So
you know how you
I'll
breed
ask you this,
fear?
Frederick.
Listen,
How
I'm
is this
explaining
being
to
kept
you.
going? You're saying,
Because in a-
allow me to ask you my question, Frederick, but
Go
you're
ahead,
saying
go ahead,
that
go ahead,
you're
go
saying that these people today, and I guess in this case black people, they're suffering from slavery and they're adopting these mentalities from back then. And this mentality, the one specifically you just mentioned, is this mentality of not trusting the white man and all that, and that's not helping them. So you're saying, but all those people and all that time has passed, all those events already are way long gone, and all those people are dead. Could you explain to me the mechanism how this mentality is being passed down?
Do deer still run from hunters today? Newborn deer.
No. I'm asking you a question. You can't ask me a question after that. I'll answer your question after.
I'm telling
Do
you,
people?
once you breed,
How is this? How is this?
I'm explaining to you. Once you
No, you asked me a
breed
question.
certain type of people, a certain type of way, they will have fear. Like
So it's
they'll
being
run
passed
from,
down
like,
genetically,
why
is
do-
what you're saying?
Yes, like the run.
So
of,
this
like,
guilt,
the
so
flight
this
might be-
mentality and
Can I
PTSD.
speak? Can
No,
I
I'm
speak?
asking you a
Can I
question.
speak?
This mentality and PTSD is coming down through their blood and genetics.
Yes, the flight.
Help me
fight,
understand that.
or,
Help me understand
freeze.
that.
The fight or freeze is stronger in the slave mentality because they're gonna run because they used to run, and so when they see the cops, that instinct just kick in. They run from cops more. They don't just be like, oh, maybe I should see what they want because history showed them ain't nothing good.
Wait. You said history showed them. That's different than genetics. Wait, I'm still trying to understand. You said history showed them, or is it just happening in their body? It's like a biological response.
It happened in the past so much over so many hundreds
Uh-huh.
of years. Just like
That their
birds.
genes activate when in front of cops. That they go, oh, I gotta run.
Hey, I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Yeah, depression on depression on depression leads to depressed people.
Okay, well, I'll say this because I mean it sounds pretty. I don't think I've ever heard any. I would like to see what kind of like, I don't know, academic body of, because you're just saying something I've literally never heard. You're saying.
You wanna know
Hold
what's
on, I'm
wrong
trying to
with the
say
black-
something, Frederick. It's my turn now,
wanna
man.
know what's
It's
wrong
my
with the
turn now,
black-
Frederick. Hold on, you know where you get to talk,
go ahead.
but it's like you're saying that. So you're literally saying that it's in like their genetics, and so it's like ingrained in their genetics or something. So that
Yeah,
they're
you
acting like
can't
this.
accept that, huh?
I'll say this because the question was, how is this being passed down? And if those people that were in slavery or whatever are dead, and if all those people who did slavery and all that are dead, it seems to me like the only way this is being passed down is by black parents telling their black children it's a slavery and blah blah blah, or by the
maybe it's a
media, or by
different-
whatever. It's being passed down by people, not by blood.
Maybe it's a gene from the racist white that bred with the slaves because they're not like the regular Africans, are they? The blacks here, they're not. So it's a gene.
Wait, how do you know that? What are you saying about that?
Because the murder rate in here in the criminal activity shows you that it ain't the immigrants that's doing all the killing over these last 100 years, right? You've been noticing American blacks. You're not talking about the immigrants. You say, what's wrong with the American black?
I'm sorry, you said
Are
a
we
whole
talking
bunch of
about
stuff.
American
Are you
blacks
saying
when you
we
say
can
that?
have that conversation after if immigrants are doing more crime or not? We could do that
Yeah,
after.
but we're
You want to
not-
go
we're not
somewhere
talking
else?
about immigrants.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
why
know
I was
why you want to
keeping
go
it on the
somewhere
base.
else. I'm
We're
asking
talking
you
about-
specifically. You're saying
We're talking about
they're not
Americans.
responsible for their behavior because
I didn't
genetics.
say that not once. I did not say that, not once. You
Oh.
said that.
Oh, my bad. So then you're saying blacks are running from cops, for example, because when they see a cop, their deep genetics, it activates from slavery times, and they go, I should run from this person. Somewhere deep inside, my feelings are telling me I should run from this person. You're saying that comes from like genetics? I gotta say, that's a little ridiculous. I think it's more obvious. It's being passed down by people, Frederick. It's being passed down by black parents. It's being passed down by the society, the culture. That's being passed down. Because the reality is, slavery's over. The black and all those people died. Okay, that's just it.
Do you think the president is leading? Well, not the president. Do you think Kamala Harris acknowledges the fact of history?
I don't know what you mean. Sounds like no. My impression is no.
Okay.
But what do you?
on a panel talking about the injustice and the wealth gap, and I believe that most Americans do understand the consequences of history. And y'all don't see it, so y'all can remain blind. Times are changing, and like even with
will the blacks ever stop being victims of history?
As soon as whites stop being victims of the Bible, maybe.
How come black people not overcoming the influence of history is contingent on white people, but it's not for every other race?
What do you mean?
Well, look at every other race. You're saying blacks today, they're blah, 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 because of some genetically ingrained, deeply ingrained in their blood problem. But what about every other culture and race that's gone through years and years of killing and whatever, even slavery in some cases, and they're doing a lot better.
Anytime got black
they've
people
come out
looking,
of this history in some respect.
Yeah.
Or would you disagree?
Anytime you have a black man like me that's not looking at anything as through your perspective or, you know what I'm saying, objective, subjective, because everything's built in a white man's perspective. So you're not doing it right unless you do it like this white man. That's wrong to me.
But what about all the people
totally
succeeding in that so-called, you're saying it's a white man's perspective. What about all the people, what about all the races of people who have been through a lot of the same things, man, that should be ingrained in their genetics, yet they are succeeding in the white man's perspective. How do you explain that one?
That everybody's suffering, so it sounds like herd mentality.
Could you say that again? I missed what you said.
Why y'all invested in herd mentality if everybody's
Wait, what do you mean about herd mentality? I missed the first part.
Y'all all suffering. You say everybody's evil, and it's like herd mentality, and y'all keep worshiping the same thing, but ain't getting no better. That's herd mentality to me. I'm the only one.
Who's y'all, and what do you mean? Could you be more specific on what you're trying to say?
I mean Christianity, religion, whatever you're trying to get to go to perfect peace.
Okay.
Or what you call it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It seemed like a false ideal that you stay in hell constantly waiting on.
No, you can overcome hell.
You can have it right now.
No.
Yeah,
we don't say.
Like you can, but you haven't.
What are you talking about?
No. I don't know.
You confused me, Frederick. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to understand. Seriously.
Yeah.
Be more specific. Maybe that'll help.
I understand perfectly. What I'm saying is today is perfect, Nick. Perfect peace is once you realize
you have perfect peace.
The consequences of history.
You have perfect peace.
In order to change history, you got to bring in more white guilt.
You have perfect peace, Frederick.
In the future,
Frederick, do you have perfect peace?
Beautiful.
Frederick, you have perfect peace?
Yeah, I have perfect peace.
And what is that?
It means when you ain't got to get up and go work for the white man every day, and you can just live and think and be.
Are you a victim of this history?
Meditate.
Are you a victim of this history?
Of this history?
This history you're talking about.
Because I didn't get 40 acres and a mule passed down when my parents passed away. They got.
How do you have perfect peace as a victim? I don't understand.
No, I'm just saying I got perfect peace now. I'm just saying what I don't have to pass.
So why don't you tell your black brothers and sisters to have that instead of you're a victim of history?
Because I said once we would have got it, we probably didn't need it, and everything God gives us today gives us perfect peace. Because he don't make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm sitting, just imagine where I'm at 100 years ago, where they was at, and 100 years from now, where we'll be. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop.
No, I don't know what you said.
Y'all gonna
in 100 years, they'll get worse. What are you talking about?
No, we'll be better. If we caught up this fast, where I'm
caught up? What are you talking about?
Listen, this is sad. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all playing big.
What are you talking about? Caught
a lot
up?
of Republicans
Wait,
in
give
the
me. Wait,
Republican states.
what's your impression of the black community and how they're doing right now? What do you mean by caught up and doing better?
Republicans from Kentucky to Florida, and they majority broke. They make probably.
What is caught up in your mind?
Republicans voting against their own interests.
What is you're talking about blacks? You're talking about blacks. You're saying they caught up and they're doing great. Can you explain what you mean? What is your standard here? What is your criteria?
Nobody's starving in America, right?
And
that means
what does that mean?
Good,
nobody's starving in America. It's true. Thank you, white men.
Yeah,
Thank you, white people.
Everybody's good. What?
I don't understand your point with that.
That means if we ain't got people dying in the streets of starvation, that means everybody has a chance. As long as you got to eat, you can change your life tomorrow. You ain't dying in the streets.
All sorts of people in America not hungry but miserable and have anger. Doesn't mean anything. I don't get your point, sir.
You don't know them people. You look at it as a problem.
I don't need to know them to know that anger is evil. What are you talking about?
You think them hungry people look at themselves out there as a problem?
What?
Do you think the
yes, some do. Some feel an embarrassment and shame that they've pushed down and continue to push down, and eventually it dies, and then they feel no shame. I don't know what you're getting at. Yes, I've met them. I've met them, Frederick. They're not exactly happy out there. Do you think the homeless people are happy out there? Some, maybe. They're maybe in some ignorant bliss, but I've met plenty who don't like being a public nuisance, but at the same time don't care enough to make themselves, work on their lives enough to so they do their best. I've met homeless people who do their best to not be a public nuisance for that reason.
If y'all cared enough about them to not give them stipulations.
You think they're happy out there?
No, I think they'd rather live freely than have stipulations put on them.
So I don't get your point, though.
I'm thinking
about the homeless
they're happy.
people.
If they don't want stipulations, if you only gonna give them a house if they obey your rules and do what you tell them to, like a pet.
Who are you talking about now? Are you talking about homeless people?
The homeless. I'm saying the people that got to get housed have to do this and jump through these hoops. They don't just
what? Get a job and have some money? Did you know houses cost money? Are you saying just give them? I don't understand you're saying they have to. You're saying homeless people have to jump through hoops. What are these hoops they have to jump through to have housing? That I gather you believe they shouldn't have to go through. What are these hoops?
I guess they got big on the corner long enough to get money for a birth certificate, so they ordered that birth certificate. They ain't got half the stuff to get an ID. First, this is all the hoops they got to jump through. You know what I'm saying? And then they got. I ain't about to
wait, so why don't they jump through the hoops? I don't understand.
If they wanted to, they would. That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's my point.
Jumping through the hoops. That's what I'm saying. They happier on the street. You think they're the problem. They don't think there's no problem. They said, I'm not bothering nobody. Every time you run up on them, they say, I ain't bothering nobody. Why you got a problem with me?
I don't get your point. You don't see that. You don't see that as a problem?
I know how you feel.
What about for you, Frederick?
They're eyesore to you.
But you haven't made a point yet, Frederick. You're just saying homeless people, and I would say it's only some, but you're just saying homeless people don't see themselves as a nuisance. So that doesn't make them any less of a nuisance. What's your point?
You see evil in the world, and I don't.
What?
I see good in the world.
And describe this good.
Perception. I'm saying you have to fix your perception. I always
describe this good, Frederick, and then we gotta go, man. But can you describe this good?
This good is looking at life and saying every day you wake up, you have the opportunity and the chance to be the best person you want to be, and if not, light another blunt and drink. Do it till you're satisfied, whatever it is. You know who that
is? That what you're saying people should do? I don't understand your advice. It sounds strange, but I'll tell you this: evil people wake up like that every day. I don't know where you're getting that.
Yeah.
You don't believe that? You don't believe that? You don't believe that serial killers? You don't believe that even a killer wakes up and thinks, you know what, today, I want to be better. I'm going to try and be better. You don't think that? You think
majority of the people in the world are killers?
No, I don't think that.
So
I mean, it's statistically obvious. That's statistically obvious. It's kind of rare.
Your perception's wrong. Majority of people, you focus on the little small.
Frederick. Maybe you forgot the operative word. I said even killers.
And the blacks is doing all the murder.
Frederick didn't hear me. Frederick didn't hear me. I said even killers. Anywhere did I say all people are killers? I was just saying even killers, which implies that's a small amount. But even they wake up sometimes and say, "I want to be better." Like that. You're saying the good in the world is waking up and saying, "I want to be better," and literally everybody does that, man. I don't know where you're getting at, sir.
The majority of the world is good, and you're looking at the small bad percent.
And how am I doing that?
By focusing on the evil that they ain't even doing nothing.
What evil am I focusing on?
Ain't even committing evil crimes.
What evil am I focusing on?
Evil, the whole world's evil, but a majority of the world's not committing evil crimes.
So?
How when they're not even committing evil crimes?
I know you don't get that, Frederick. I know your standard of evil is low. Yeah. I understand that. I know that you wouldn't get that. Why you want to argue about that? I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to convince you, Frederick. I know that you don't get that. Yeah, I know that your standard of you think someone. I forget, what did you say the other day? You said something like helping someone cross the street is like good, or is the good in the world. Like, I forget what it was, but you said something ridiculous like that the other day. So I know your standard is low. I'm not trying to convince you on that. Anyways, Frederick,
you don't think helping an old lady across the street is good?
It's nice. It's not necessarily good. There's all sorts. You can be evil and help a nice lady. You can be evil and you can be evil and help. Everyone's hearing you be obtuse about this when everybody knows that you can be evil and help a lady, an old lady, cross the street. That doesn't.
And then what did that evil person do? What's the evil in the person you see?
Say that again.
What's the evil in that person that you see?
Which person?
They're going to do something later that's evil, right?
I don't know. I'm not assuming that. You're doing that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, you said that evil. You said a person is still...
You don't think so? You don't think you could be evil and help someone cross the street?
Majority of people being evil would have
No, I asked you a question. No. I asked you a question. You don't think you could be evil and help an old lady cross the street?
Yes, I do, but I believe that evil person does act.
So then what the heck are you fighting me about? You're saying I'm right about this.
Would have to do,
Chat, you see this? He went, Chat, you hear this? He went all the way around just to agree with me. So
but they're not majority, Nick.
But who's saying that? I'm asking you a specific question. Yeah, we can have that conversation later.
Majority means? Majority.
I know that you don't believe me.
No,
Frederick.
Do you know? No, if I
do know what majority means.
If I say minority of people might be
evil,
and
he was agreeing with me and he's calling me stupid.
Listen, if I say a minority of people might be evil and help somebody across the street, don't mean majority of the people are evil.
Look, I know that you don't agree with me that majority of people are evil. Obviously, I'm not trying to convince you on that. But the point was that you think you have this standard of good and evil, and I just showed you that we have the same one, or at least closer than you think, and you want to call me stupid for that. Anyways, no, Frederick, do you have something new to say? Do you have something new to say? Do you have something new to say before I let you go?
You think the majority of all people are evil, right?
Correct. They're led. Look at the world. Look at the world. Do you think the world is nice, or do you think the world is evil?
Okay. You know how many people in the
world? Do
you
think the world is nice, or do you think the world is evil?
I think the world is nice.
You think the world is nice and good mostly? Majority nice and good?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Well,
come
Frederick,
on. If you
silly.
Wait till war break out and you ain't standing in them lines. Y'all been spoiled. Y'all ain't seen the food lines break out and the depression.
That's just a different. Is the war breaking out and the food lines breaking out in the nice world and the good world you're talking about?
You say what?
Is this war and is the war breaking out and the food lines starting in this good and nice world you described? I thought the world was nice and good. How could war break out? How could war break out in such a nice, good world? How could war break out and food lines happen in a nice and good world, Frederick? Last question, then I got to let you
go. Repeat that.
How can war break out and food lines start happening in a nice and good world, like you say?
Because God is not going to be happy with what he sees. Y'all not going to
Non-answer.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm talking to that guy.
Appreciate it, Frederick. Call me again.
Have a good one, Nick.
Yeah. It's a nice world. It's a nice, good world. It's a nice and good world. We got another caller, though. Your name and where you calling from?
Nick, it's Internet Manster.
Welcome, sir. Appreciate your call.
Hey, buddy. Man, you have the best callers, Nick. You really do. I love your show.
Thank you, man. I love
don't
my
know how to
callers.
follow that last guy.
No, don't worry about that.
Well, I like calling because I like ranting, and because my wife, she can't stand hearing it.
So you got to rant to Nick.
I thought
What a mess. I don't know how to feel about that.
I thought I'd call it just Nick Pick with Nick.
Let's go. You just got nitpicked. You just got nitpicked.
Man, I love your callers, man. They can.
Me too.
They can just go out there. Yeah, I wanted to nitpick and complain about something because first I wanted to complain about the news and the polls. Do you believe polls? Do you really believe polls much?
You mean like voting polls and all that?
Right.
No,
one thing
I'm quite
I try to ask is who are they asking? Like nobody's coming to ask me.
No. I'm quite skeptic. I share the same skepticism. Yeah. But there are Please go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you remember in 2016, Trump was failing in the polls, and then when he won the election in a landslide, I remember all these pollsters coming out being so upset about oh man, I can't believe this happened. No, polls are accurate. This was just unexpected. So again, I think a lot of polls are very biased. I think if you just look at who's delivering you the poll, and you'll get kind of your biased message there. Like, if anything, they're trying to be fair and nice. Now, with that said, I don't think that people should underestimate the Democrat voter base. I mean, it's definitely got way better outcome than Republicans. Just regardless, people will just vote blue no matter who. So my first complaint was, do you really believe the polls that you hear every day? It's always, Trump's a little bit further ahead.
No, my take on that is
ahead here, or
my take on that is essentially no. Especially, I mean, come on. By now, you must know that the political system is largely theatrics, okay, and the media and all that is theatrics and deep corruption more than anybody even understands. That, and look, 2016 they said it's Hillary's in the bag. There's no way. There's literally no way he can win. So we got to learn that lesson. That being said, even like a broken scale, like a scale to weigh yourself. Let's say you weigh yourself every day, and that scale is broken and it's not accurate. The difference between two inaccurate readings can still lend some insight. And this is for those who are into the nitty-gritties of politics and all that, because it's like I agree with you, skeptic. I remain skeptic. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But like I was saying a moment ago, the difference between two inaccurate readings can still give you some sort of insight. You know what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
The change
agree,
between two inaccurate readings can still offer some insight.
Yeah. I just, every day there's just a new poll coming out that's just like in the middle or just this way or just that way. And it's like, it's so annoying every day being inundated in these polls. And
but you don't believe them, right?
See what happens come voting day.
But you don't believe them, right?
No, that's just it. I don't believe them.
So they don't bother you.
I meet a lot of people. I'm in a line of work where I meet a lot of different people, and I usually try to break the ice with just casual conversation while work's going on, and sometimes politics will creep in, and really, and this could just be the area I live in and work in, but I just don't run into a lot. I live in a major city, and I don't run into a lot of Harris supporters, is what I'm saying. So and when I do, they're insane. They're usually the most insane person I've met, like, all week. And so, I don't know. First, my rant is I'm just sick of polls. I've always found polls to be annoying since, like for forever. Polls are just annoying because they're just this guy's opinion, that guy's opinion, and then you'll see what happens come voting day,
But I mean, you don't believe them, so
but
they don't bother you.
Sorry, what?
You don't believe them, right? How can they bother you?
Well, I guess you got me there.
Well, no, that was a question.
Believing what I don't know.
No, that was a question, as some might say.
Oh, well, I don't believe them, no. I refuse to believe them, really. I'm just the kind of guy that, like Jesse said, I'm the observer. I'll just see what happens.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
But I don't believe polls.
Go ahead. You had something else?
Yes. The other rant I wanted to get into was another one of these Trump things. So Trump says one of the things he wants to get rid of is the overtime taxing of overpay, which is great, which is like, all right, this is great. And it's even one of the things that Kamala Harris is saying that she's going to copy and do. Well, my rant, and it's like, well, why not just completely abolish income tax? If Kamala's going to one-up you and copy your plan, then one-up her and just come right around and say, hey, I'm just going to abolish income tax altogether. And because really that's what Americans need. That helps everybody. Like abolishing
except
overtime
the political
pay
class and the
still helps
firms.
everybody? Say what?
I said, you said it helps everybody. Well, except the political class and the firms, the corporations, like it doesn't help them. Well, I guess it helps the corporations.
Getting rid of income tax?
Yeah. That would help the working class. That would help the workers. But that's the political class and those right. They don't want to see that. They don't want that.
I mean, but who cares what they want? I mean,
that's the reason it won't happen.
Last I heard, they worked for me as the American citizen and the American voter.
It's true.
Running for politics used to just be kind of civil duty. Now it's turned into a big money-making job.
Absolutely. But you see, that's for the reasons you just said is why that won't change.
Say what?
For the reasons you just said, that's why things won't change.
Well, that's why I think it's kind of BS. It's like Trump's just kind of using it to attract voters, which is great, which is fine. And I'm all about that. I'm voting for Trump. But
yes.
I just think, why not? Don't tease me, dude. Don't tease me with just getting rid of, taking taxes off of tips. And don't tease me with, taking rid of taxes on overpay. Dude, it's like you're teasing me. Dude, most ground working blue collar workforce guys like us, getting rid of income tax would benefit you and me. And so I don't care about the upper class. I don't care about the political class. They can find their own needs with their corrupt, the stocks that they've got plenty of money in. It's not just Democrats. It's not just Pelosi that has money in stocks. It's plenty of Republicans, too. What's that guy with the eye patch?
I mean, income tax. Imagine removing income tax. It's just the uproar, the fight that would have to happen. You'd have to go up against the whole establishment, I guess. It's that's why it won't happen. At least not. I don't see anybody doing that because there's just too much. There's just too much. Too many of the people in charge are incentivized not to. Yeah, of course, you and I, people, or whatever, the working class and all that, they'd get to keep a lot more of their earnings. It would be very positive for America and Americans, but yeah, they're not going to let that happen.
But that's what people like Kamala continue to take out. And, that's what, people that vote for her don't realize that's what she's banking on is your income tax, because she wants to keep raising stuff like that. Do you realize out of my personal check, dude, they take almost $600 out of my income tax. Like, dude, it's killing.
Wow.
Like, it's only going up. The more people vote for these Democrats, it's only going up. And that's what people don't realize. Dude, that's your money they're taking. You already pay taxes. Why do you got to pay it every time you get paid? So income tax it's been awful. I think it was started after during World War One, and it was supposed to be abolished.
The beginning of the
after
end.
World War One. Yeah. So all I'm saying, my other rant was, I think it's just total BS that Trump's saying, "I'll get rid of your overtime pay, or I'll stop taxing tips." Dude, just get rid of income tax. If you're really trying to help us, if you really want to save America, dude, you got 4 years to do this, okay? It's not like you're running for another campaign. You got 4 years to get this right.
But you
help
want
us out, man.
But I agree essentially. But you kind of want Trump something to do that you agree with me. There's no will or possibility of that happening. Yet you want Trump to do something that you agree with me there's no will for that. There's no way.
Well, last time we spoke,
and that's wrong. That's wrong. But you want Trump to do something you agree with me is impossible. At least today.
Well, last time we spoke, you described Trump as not a politician. I love that because, dude, I argue that all the time. Trump is not a politician. Trump may be running as a politician. He is running as your president. And, yeah, he's become a little more of a politician. But don't forget, this is a businessman running as president. That's what he is. He's not your local mayor, politician. He's not your senator from downtown. No. That's a businessman trying to save this country. And I love it when people point that out, that he's not a politician.
I agree, man. I think he's trying his best. I think he uncovered the rock and saw all the rotting worms, and there's a lot more than he thought, maybe. Look, I think he's just trying his best. But like you said last time we talked, there's just, you don't believe he's going to do the mass deportations. And I've been giving it thought ever since then. And it's like, I agree with you. There's just no way. There's no will for it. The uproar that would happen. Look, your other Americans, I don't think would allow that to happen. They'll start ripping them out of the homes. It's just not happening. The Democrats want them here because they're importing voters. The Republicans are all getting paid with them coming in. And who would lose tomorrow if mass deportations happen? Companies, firms, corporations, they all lose. They all have to start investing in Americans and educating them to work at their factories or work at Silicon Valley. They'll now have to start paying and educating Americans. It's just too much. Yet what would happen tomorrow? American workers would win. So I agree with you. There's just no way that'll happen. So in the very same, in that same respect, you got to agree that getting rid of income tax is not happening either for those very same reasons.
Nope. That's what I'm saying. It's just another. I'm calling BS. He's teasing us basically. Like, okay. I appreciate that you'll get rid of overtime pay. There's taxes on overtime pay. That helps. But dude, you're just kind of
what'd you say Trump was doing? Teasing and fooling for the good of the country. Very based.
I mean, who's to say that he won't do that once he gets in? Who knows?
I think he'll try personally, but I just don't know, man. I think he's doing. I think he's going to do his best and navigate the corruption, the deep corruption, as a legend, the best he can.
Yeah. Can I share a fun fact with you before I go?
Please.
Okay. Apparently, at the White House, the Secret Service uses a radio call sign for Joe Biden when he's in a particular outfit. Because the Secret Service has gone through its DEI changes, and now there's a lot of women in the Secret Service, and it's proven. And so it's a proven fact also that Joe Biden loves to walk around the White House butt naked.
No,
So,
wait, you saying
did you
proven
know-
fact?
Yes. No, you can find this out. Joe Biden loves to walk around in the middle of the night butt naked. It's just something he does. And so the radio call sign for the Secret Service when Joe Biden is walking around butt naked is Cobra, Cobra.
What?
That's a fact.
Are you serious?
Yes. Cobra, Cobra. So,
Well,
if you ever hear
US
Cobra, Cobra on the
News.
radio, keep your eyes open. Joe Biden could be walking around naked.
What the heck is this?
It's a proven, yes.
Apparently, U.S. News in 2014. Here's one thing: Biden swims naked, upsetting female Secret Service agents.
Yep.
I mean, that's a headline from Reuters. But I don't know if this proves everything you're saying about that situation. But I had no idea.
Now, I'm terrible at proving facts like that, but this is what my crew and I have heard, and we have decided this is fact, this is truth.
I had no idea.
I guess is a proven way to put it. Yes, so just be careful. If you ever use two-way radios or anything, like if you ever have walkie-talkies,
Yeah.
somebody screaming, Cobra, Cobra, watch out. Cover your eyes.
Incredible, man. Internet Manster, man. Always a pleasure. Can you call me again?
Nick, I love your show so much, I find reasons not to call your show.
Man, thank you, sir. Call me again, man. Always a pleasure.
All right, take care, brother.
I did not Google Biden naked. I Googled Joe Biden likes to walk around naked. Okay, Tabitha. Okay, I did not Google Joe Biden naked. Joe Biden naked. I was trying to think of something funny, but whatever. Joe Biden. Hey, I don't know if this proves everything he said, but there is headlines, claims, alleged claims, according to some author, alleged claims that Joe Biden upsets female Secret Service agents when he swam naked, at least this one time, maybe more than once. But this headline suggests that at least one time, the allegation is he swam naked and he upset some female Secret Service agents. Cobra, Cobra. Incredible. I don't know. I'm just trying to be accurate. They call me Inky Ink. What are you talking about, Games for Rec? What does Inky mean? Are you referencing 𝒂𝒂💄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔? Or am I incorrect? Games for Rec. You're obviously talking about 𝒂𝒂💄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, right? Or is that just me? They call me Inky, Inky. Ride on me, ride on me. We love 𝒂𝒂💄💊💂💊, right? We love 𒂂𝒂💄💊💂. They call him Mr. Flocka Flame. He loves me. He's gonna vote for me. Flocka Flame. Flocka of the Flame. Ride on me. Ride on me. Okay. Here's what I wanted to do. I had mentioned Nixon earlier. And while I was talking about the Southern strategy and putting this all together, I came across two fascinating clips of Mr. Nixon. Richard Nixon, I believe, a very interesting person. I believe very popular. I hear quite popular.
Has enlisted.
Let's see here.
American Jews to bring as much pressure as possible in the.
Oh yeah, this one too. Okay, we'll watch this one and then another one. This one and the other one.
Nixon. This is the question whether I felt it. The fact is that American Jews support Israel, and I understood that. And the fact is that every Jewish prime minister that I have known has enlisted American Jews to bring as much pressure as possible in the political process on an American president. Now, a president must not go along with it on occasion, because let me explain something about what is called the Jewish lobby in this country. In the first place, Jews, understandably in the United States, they believe that America's survival and security is directly related to Israel's. In other words, their belief is that being for Israel first means that does not mean you're putting America second, because they think it goes together. An American president, however, has to approach it in a different way, in my opinion. He's got always to think first of what is best for America, and that's true whether it has to do with the Israelis or whether it has to do with the Irish or the Germans or what have you, or the Poles, etc. But on occasions, for example, an American president must make a decision that does not, in effect, give the Israelis a blank check. And one example of that is a decision that I made. I decided early on in our administration that we were going to seek good relations with Egypt and others of Israel's neighbors. Many of my Israeli friends didn't like that because they wanted a special relationship with Israel and Israel only. But I have always said that Israel's interests are better served to have the United States a friend of Israel's neighbors and potential enemies than to leave a vacuum which the Soviet Union would fill. I still believe that, and I think that should be American policy today.
Soviet Union, I mean, I guess time has passed, so I don't know if that fits, but I don't even remember why I saved this. I just like seeing what seems to me like a sober-minded master of his domain speak on something so that gets people so emotional, speak on it so clearly to me. He's not talking about hate. He's not here blaming the Jews for causing you to watch porn. Like, how ridiculous can you be? And yet he's speaking like an American. I guess that's the reason why I saved this clip. Because it was just nice to see a well-spoken man, like a man, seemingly speak on such a topic with such simplicity and happenstance. Here's another one. This is the one I wanted to show you. I believe this is after all that Watergate stuff. President Richard Nixon's farewell to the White House staff before his resignation later the same day. Check it out. We are going to 1974 for this one. And check this man out and his words about his resignation. And I'm sure a lot of you know better than I about the mess with Watergate. He had to resign, and listen to the man speak.
Because the greatness comes not when things go always good for you, but the greatness comes and you're really tested when you take some knocks, some disappointments, when sadness comes. Because only if you've been in the deepest valley can you ever know how magnificent it is to be on the highest mountain. Others may hate you, but those who hate you don't win unless you hate them. And then you destroy yourself.
There's like no other truth, man. All right, folks, there's like no other truth. Anger is evil, and you destroy yourself from within. You destroy yourself, and that's how a country gets destroyed. It's all these individuals being destroyed from within. Okay? And you lose when you hate them. You may be hated, but you only lose when you hate them back. And then you destroy yourself. Thank you, Richard Nixon. I got to learn more about you, I think. Fascinating. All right, folks. Appreciate all the support there. I want to check this out real quick because I don't know what this is. But Carver left us with a fine coffee on Friday. And he said, hey, Nit, if you have 2 spare minutes, you might enjoy this. How about we watch it now? You just bought me a coffee, Carver. We have some time right now. You can call me, by the way, 888-775-3773. But we got some time. He bought me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. And he left us a little link. Maybe I shouldn't do this live, but let's do it. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, look at this, chat. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 versus the Haitians. Rare lost 60s hit song. Why do I feel like this might not be true? A rare lost 60s hit song? 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒍� versus the Haitians? Why do I get the impression there's a joke being played here?
I seen on TV the other day, Haitians were eating cats according to the president.
Oh yeah, everybody knows this song.
I have seen a recent trend of Haitians become residents. The last I seen Mr. Kills was after I threw his ass out after pissing in my bed.
What?
But after the news, I think Mr. Kills might actually be dead.
This slaps.
The Haitians could have ate Mr. Kittles, and I wouldn't be mad, because fuck that cat, I had to kick his ass every time.
Oh, it's dirt, it's cussing. Why are you cussing up in here?
For being bad, so I take a stroll, and I walk through a park. That's when I see in a distance that gave my interest a spark. I see a Haitian with a stick try to attack Mr. Kittles. He is clearly trying to eat the cat and turn him into McGriddles or something like that. But I've seen Mr. Kittles jump onto a tree.
Amazing. We had to fade that one out. That's incredible. 3 more minutes of this. I suspect AI, but nonetheless, a hit, an absolute hit. I gotta say, banger alert. Just the hits. That was a Motown hit. Isn't that interesting? What does that mean about music? That AI can make hits with just prompts. Yeah, they didn't cuss in the 50s. What the? That's not authentic. There's no way that was in the... There's no way. But what's that say about music? What's that say about music for a second? It might not be... that complicated, that much of a complicated, difficult, like, I don't know, how do I put it? Like, the AI can make hits, man. The AI can make head bobbing hits in a second, okay? What's that say about music? Incredible. Chat wants the link. The link you shall have. It's in the chat. You can go listen to 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒍𝒔 versus the Haitians. What a story. What a colorful story. It's happening. I believe those residents. I side with the residents of Springfield, Ohio. Check it out. Look at this little short video about art. Now, you see, this is a YouTube short. It's about mixing black and white, the colors, the shades or whatever. And you see this person mix color mixing, super satisfying color mixing. This video is about color mixing. Now, this video about mixing black and white, there's no way this video, people in the comments are mad and fighting about. This is just a video about art, right? There's no way that this video would be controversial in any way, right? Let's not play the music. Maybe it's copyright, but no way, right? 10% black plus 90% white equals gray. Yeah, there's no way this video is controversial, right? There's no way. Okay. I forget the combination, but that's iron. 50% black, 50% white. Yeah, you get, more shades of gray and black. Graphite. Okay. This is more black, little less white. And of course, it just goes down the road. This is constantly playing in Mark's mind. That's funny, Kevin Howe. We love Mark. So yeah, there's no way this video is full of comments of controversy, right? Obviously, Newsflash, it is. Everybody's fighting about race. We couldn't even have one video about just art. No, everybody's fighting about race in the comments. Moral, black is too powerful. That's one way of looking at it. 90% black plus 10% white equals 100% black. 5 shades of gray. Me expecting the most different names for the colors. First color, gray. A story as old as time. Oh no. Gray. I guess. What do you guys think, chat? Do you think what's the story, the moral? I mean, you just get all gray, you lose both white and black, right? Some people would say other things. Some people would say maybe you lose all white. The first one, almost black. Second one, nearly black. Third, very close to black. Fourth, black. Fifth, more black. I don't believe this, okay? This is not my anchor baby, innocent mind is not corrupted. I've heard one drop rule and stuff like that. I don't know about y'all. Look at this comment. Even a tiniest drop of black tends to make a full cup of white gray, whereas 1 spoon of white does not make any difference to that 1 cup of black. Sad face, crying emoji. We couldn't just have one video where it's just art. That's a pessimistic way to look at life, buddy. Instead, try looking at it like you are the one mixing colors, and you can allow the amount of white and black that mix together. The same way that you can choose which things you are going to let them in your life to make it better or worse. Right on, Abdo. People are so self-conscious in all this when all this race stuff comes up. You can feel the pain in their stomachs while they're writing all these comments out. What does it mean? What does it all mean? I don't know, guys. Don't trip out too much about it. Come on, guys. I don't think it's that deep. I think, though, if we're going to make this about race, it's just, look, mixed. When you mix, it's just neither one. You lose both. Okay? And there's a reason why pretty much every race traditionally goes around saying, hey, I don't like the mixing. No, my daughter ain't going to marry blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a preservation thing. You're going to get mad at that? You're going to call it racist? I don't think you should get mad at it. And you should maybe, with that very same energy, you shouldn't get mad at it on the other side either. But you got to understand, right? I guess we are making this about race, right? This stopped being about art and mixing black and white. What a mess. But yeah, everybody in the comments, calm down. You don't have to lose your head over this. I got a caller. Where are you calling from, and what's your name?
Hey, how's it going? My name is Michael Lionheart.
Hey, Michael, appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Are you Jewish?
I'm not.
What are your thoughts on the Jews?
They seem to be, like masters of their domain in many respects. They are very admirable in a lot of ways.
So in other words,
they're also very liberal. They're also very, very liberal. So I think I have some thoughts. I don't have, what do you think about that so far? Should I expand further?
They control literally everything. Correct?
I wouldn't say that. Literally everything?
You just said it, though.
I did?
That's what you said. Yeah, you just said it. You said they control literally everything.
I have not said that today, and I've never said that.
Shut the stream down. Shut it down. Shut it down. That's it. You're done. You effed up.
Are you making a joke? Because I didn't say that. And don't say I said that because my stream might get shut down, man. Don't say I said I did. I did not say that. Not only did I not say that, please do not say that I said that, or else. I am messing around, but on a serious note, do you actually think they control everything? Like, what are you getting at?
Of course. Of course. Why is everyone scared to talk about them? Why is everyone scared to name them? It's because they know they hold so much power.
I think that's a little.
I know it.
No, I think that's not how power works, though. I mean, the power is also kind of given up. And when you're saying like, oh, you can't say this or that, you're just talking about like media. That still doesn't mean that could be a significant power there. I'm not going to be ignorant or obtuse about that. But that's still just like an aspect. Like, oh, if you have a whole bunch of people who run, let's say, news media publications, well, they'll maybe use that power. I can understand where you're coming from is what I'm trying to say there, but to say they run everything, now you sound, I gotta say, a little ridiculous. You sound like someone who's willing. You sound like the people who say the Jews made the white people watch porn and stuff like that. It's like, what kind of power are you giving the Jews? What kind of power are you giving them over you? That's you're making them almost like gods.
But who
you're making them.
But who created the porn?
You're making them out to be almost like gods, is what I'm trying to say with that.
But the Jews, they did create the porn, though, didn't they?
Do they create all the porn, though?
They do.
I don't know this. I don't know this. My impression
do.
is no. My impression, and I'd venture to say no. That sounds.
All I can say is, look it up. Look it up. Who owns all the porn industry? Look it up.
Okay, but what does that mean? Let's say they run all the porn. What's the point with that?
What do you mean? What's the point?
I mean, besides the point.
It's destroying our youth.
And see, that's where it gets a little funky for me.
Destroying the young minds.
What's wrong with
sin.
What's wrong with the young minds that they let themselves be destroyed?
What do you mean?
What's wrong with the young minds that
they're sacrificing their soul?
Who is?
The people who watch it.
Right. So what's wrong with them that they sacrifice their soul?
They go to hell. What do you mean? What do you?
No. Let me ask you.
They go to hell.
Let me ask you in a different way. Wait.
What the fuck?
No, calm down, man. You gotta calm down.
No.
I'm asking you. I'll ask you in a different. I'll ask you in a different way, but show some decorum. You're on my show. You don't have to be laughing it up like when you haven't made a point and then cussing. So, calm down a second. But this is a fine conversation. I appreciate you bringing this up. Who made them sell their souls, though? That's what I'm trying to understand. Because look, I've not looked into this. It could very well be that Jews run. I've seen Jews themselves say we run the porn industry. Some Jews, and these are like liberal Jews. I don't know if other Jews would agree with this Jew, but I have seen that. That being said, who made those people that you just mentioned sell their soul?
Oh, I'm getting the call.
No. I'm asking you a simple question. Who made them sell their soul?
What do you mean? Who made them sell their soul? What do you mean?
You said
who made them?
You said the youth. You said the youth and whoever else who's watching this porn is selling their soul, right?
Yeah.
Who made them sell their soul?
If you're watching it, yeah.
Right. Okay. The question is, who made them sell? Why did they sell their soul?
Jews,
the question.
They're providing it.
That's
Jews
what I want to.
Providing it.
But who made them imbibe? Who made them consume?
Who's putting it out there?
You already said who's putting it out
there in everything.
Calm down, man. Calm down. You already said who's putting it out there, and I'm not gonna say I know who is and who isn't. I'm asking you a different question.
Who's tell me.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
It might be the Jews. I don't know.
I'm telling you who it is.
I don't know. You're saying it's the Jews.
How do you not know?
You're saying it's the Jews, but
you don't want to say it.
But you gotta calm down. I'm telling you sincerely that I really don't know. I haven't looked into this. It could very well be the Jews. I'm not denying that. Is that a sufficient answer for you, sir? Is that a sufficient answer? Okay, you don't believe me when I say that I don't know, but it may be. Is that can that be a sufficient answer for you?
I knew everything right when I came in here.
You gotta calm down. Hold on. Hold on. No. Hold on.
When I came in here, you were
sweating.
Dry.
My forehead's dry. I'm asking you a question that you don't seem to want to answer, and you sound afraid to answer. You sound like you're sweating in just thinking about trying to answer this question.
What I'm saying?
You sound like you're sweating. You're laughing out of nervousness. Just listen to yourself. You're laughing out of nervousness, and it sounds like you don't. Can I ask you the question, or are you afraid? You're nervous. Look at you laughing. Why are you so nervous? Can I ask you the question, or are you afraid?
I'm laughing because you're asking stupid fucking questions.
You want to cuss? I just asked you. You're going to show some decorum on my show or not? Are you going to cuss again? Look at this, folks. Look at this scared caller. He won't answer the question. He's laughing and scared. Will you? Hey, I got you on hold. Nobody can hear you. Will you answer the question or not? Are you ready for the question? May I ask it for you, or are you afraid?
What can I be afraid of?
Well,
Afraid
you
of
don't
what?
know yet. You won't
I'm
even
the
let
one
me
naming
ask you
the
the
Jews.
question, scared person.
I'm the one naming the
Can
Jews.
I ask you the question or no? Or are you afraid?
Go on, tell me. What's
Okay.
the question? What's your question?
You said those people who watch porn are selling their soul. What made them sell
Yes.
their soul? You said it's the Jews.
What made them sell their
Right.
soul by watching it? Yes.
So who made them watch it?
What do you mean? Who made them?
It's a simple question.
Dude,
Don't say, what do you mean?
They're providing it.
You already said that. You already said that.
Jews
You
are
already said
providing
that.
it.
Who made them watch it? Who made them watch it? You already said who provided it. Who made them watch it? That's the question that you keep
It
running
doesn't
from.
matter. It doesn't
Why-
matter.
and why
who made
doesn't
them
it
watch
matter?
It doesn't matter.
And why doesn't it matter?
Because the Jews put it out there. Because the Jews created
That's
it.
a different.
The
That's
Jews created it.
Fine. Who
Thank
made
you.
them watch it?
Thank you.
Who
The
made
Jews
them watch
created
it? Who made them watch it? Who made the people watch it? You won't answer that. You sound afraid. You sound like you're sweating.
What do you mean? I sound afraid. I don't sound.
You
afraid.
won't even answer the question. You
What do you
keep
mean?
dodging it.
I'm telling
Who
you.
made
I'm
white
telling
people
you.
watch porn? Who made white people watch porn?
Who's putting it out
Who
there?
made you see
shoving it in people's
dodging?
faces?
Chicken dodging. Who made white people watch porn? Who made white people watch porn? Laughing out of nervousness. You're hearing it, folks. This is embarrassing, man. This is very embarrassing for you.
What do you mean embarrassing?
Because you're laughing out of nervousness and you won't answer the question.
The problem is.
Yeah, it could very well be.
You're
I haven't done the research, but it might be the Jews.
Deflecting.
I haven't done
You're
the research. No,
deflecting.
I'm being honest
do the
with you.
research then.
You
Do the
call
research
deflect.
then.
You call it
Do the
deflect.
research.
Then I'll go do the research. But
Yeah,
why is
you're
that
deflecting.
important? Why is that important to my
Thank
question?
you. W. Lionheart.
You're such a coward. You're such a
This
coward.
guy's
You won't
scared.
answer the
This
question.
Guy's scared. This one named the Jews. This
You're-
guy's
you
scared.
think you're
This one named
based.
the
You think
Jews.
you're saving the white
Let's
race.
go.
You think you're based because
Yep.
you said nothing. You said
I'm
nothing.
telling you, the Jews are
You-
selling
and look,
sex through music.
He's trying to talk over me because he's so nervous and he won't answer the question. I already told him that it might very well be that the porn industry might very well be, there may be a lot of Jews overrepresented in the porn industry. I haven't bothered to look into it because this is very interesting to me. This is more interesting to me personally. Personally, this is more interesting to me that people are in this world are afraid to even answer who made them watch porn. Michael, do you watch porn?
No.
And when did you? No, let's not get into that. That's too dirty. I don't want to put your business out there. But again, Michael, you don't see the point here. You don't see that. Do you think? Did the whites? Did the whites make? Did the white? No, Michael. Did the whites? Did the whites make? Did the whites make? Hold on, I got you on hold. Did the whites make black people smoke crack?
What?
Did the whites? You know how the blacks say the CIA and white people put crack in our community. Would you say white people made black people smoke crack?
They probably did. Yeah, the CIA. Yeah, if they're
Wow.
giving it out. Yeah.
So you're saying black people are not responsible for their own actions, and the white man made them smoke crack? Is that what you really believe?
Hey, if the CIA was just going out and fucking giving it to them like candy.
Don't swear,
yeah,
man. Come
probably,
on.
Yeah.
Show some. I'm enjoying the call here, but why do you got to be rude? Will you?
Well, what did I say?
Will you apologize
What did I
for
say?
swearing?
What did I say?
You said the F word, man. Will you apologize for swearing, or should we just stop the? Or should we just stop
really,
talking?
Dude, really?
Yes, really.
I can't say.
All right. He wants to be afraid. He wants to be rude and not follow my rules. It's my show. And yeah, you're going to flout the rules. Guess what? I'm going to be the big man with the button. And you want to call me egotistical for that? Maybe. But guess what? It's my show, my button. But I thought it's just such a fascinating call, Michael. You don't see the blind. Like, here I am even admitting it could very well be many Jews running things. I saw some rabbi owns Pornhub. I saw some Jewish guy runs OnlyFans. That's still only 2 sites. I mean, maybe I'm being obtuse requiring you to really prove it to me. But I mean, you're making big accusations about a whole group of people. You kind of need to bring the proof. And sure, rabbi owns Pornhub. A Jewish guy runs OnlyFans and turned it into porn. Okay, fine. Again, you're gonna make a big claim about people. I'm not gonna go around making huge claims like that. I'm gonna keep it chill. And by the way, I'm not even that interested in finding out what the Jews are doing, because why are all the people consuming it? Isn't that more interesting? Because if it's not the Jews, then it's the next guy. If it's not the Jews who are putting it out, then it's going to be another group of people that are going to corrupt America and white people. And it's going to be an endless cycle of people controlling white people or controlling Americans and controlling Christians until they figure it out, until they figure out why they're being controlled. That will never change. If it's true that Jews and all this are doing all these things, guess what? It will never change until the people who are consuming those things that you say are so, until they figure out why they're doing it. And it will never change otherwise. So if you want to keep on with the blaming and all that, I don't know what to tell you. And people with all that energy and swearing and talking over, it's because they don't really know. It's because they're afraid of answering the question. You sound like you're sweating, Michael. Call me again, though. I enjoyed your call, but show some decorum, man. I thought you were a white man. Don't be rude. That's ghetto. Don't you know that that's ghetto? And that's and white people are going downward and downward, and you want to act ghetto? Michael, come on. That's ghetto. Don't act ghetto. That's beneath you. All right. Don't be ghetto. Call her probably Irish, maybe Italian. Call me again, Michael, some other time. Show some decorum, okay? Show some decorum, okay? Don't act ghetto. Please. Please. Represent those whites that you wish to overcome all this Jewish stuff. And don't be ghetto. All right, folks, that's the show. That's it from me. Call me tomorrow. Appreciate all the support. Let's see what else here. Carver, the key. Okay, that's all the coffees. Appreciate the super chats and all that. Hey, appreciate the super chat. Carver says, Nit just likes hearing President Nick, son. What can I say? I'm a simple man. Appreciate that. Kale Samogi with the super chat says, I thought it was common sense that the market for stuff is because of the suppliers and consumers, both equally responsible. I disagree, Kale. The drug user, you have to be logical about this. The drug user bears just a little bit more responsibility. It's just true. If we're going to be measuring, if we're going to have a little needle, it bends to the drug user. Because the drug dealer would not exist without the drug user. I don't know how else to put it. If you don't see it that simply, you got to be a hateful person. You have to be. To think that someone else could put a needle in your arm, porn in your lust and all that in your heart, and to twist your very own morals, you have to be a hateful person. But yeah, sure, the drug dealer has their part to play, and their desires and motivations are evil as well. But there would be no drug dealer without a drug user. I don't know what to tell you. How else am I stupid for saying that? You're going to have to tell me how, because it's pretty clear. Equally evil, huh? Who thinks it's equally evil? It can't be equally evil. If it's going to be measured, I'd say it bends heavily to the drug user, but you gotta agree, if you're any rational, reasonable person at all, it's at least a little bit towards the drug user. It's at least a little bit towards the porn user. It is. Just a tiny bit, at least. Because no one's making the user use. Not the dealer is not making the user use. That's it. So if you're a rational, reasonable person, you would bend it a little bit towards that way. Of course, they're both equally responsible for their own actions, but we are talking about the user and how this even comes about. And to say otherwise is to take away the responsibility from the users. Okay? It wouldn't exist without them. The user is not making the dealer deal. Actually, yes. Of course, the user is not making the dealer deal, but the reality, that relationship only exists thanks to the user. It's kind of like the relationship Satan has with you and your ego and the mind. He can only really affect you because you let it. He can only really affect you because you believe it. You believe his lies in the mind. And that's the only way Satan has control over you, because you allow it. You believe it. And that same relationship is with the drug dealer. Yeah, sure, you're not making the dealer deal, but you kind of are. You're inviting him. That relationship only exists thanks to you. Yeah, Terry, I gave him an actually, I did. But all right, y'all, I'm out. Peace. Call me tomorrow, super chats and all that. I'm out. Great show. Lovely show. And take care. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow, same time. Peace.